And my take on this is that I do not believe that Andrew Tate is a rapist. I don't. I think that that is what people like to accuse men of when they're trying to take them down, right?
Yes, it is what people like to accuse men of when they are trying to take them down or when they've raped them. Those are generally the two big reasons that you would declare that someone is a rapist. And look, I don't know if Andrew Tate did the things that he and his associates are alleged to have done. That's what a legal process is for. But since I know exactly as much about this as Candace Owens does, I've read the same news accounts that she has. It is odd that she would come to this conclusion considering everything he has so very repeatedly and passionately said about this topic. Again, we weren't there. We don't know what was done. But if I did want you to give me the benefit of the doubt when it comes to claims of sexual assault, I probably wouldn't spend years talking about how rape is awesome and women need to be dominated and I love to beat women and those sorts of things. Now, she's familiar with all of that and has still come to the conclusion that she should defend him. My guess is that it's less to do with the actual content of the accusations and more to do with what she believes to be her position in the right wing and what she, as a woman in the right wing, needs to say in regards to right wing men. That's just my guess. We're gonna give her a little bit more time to make the case and then we'll jump into a discussion.
But Andrew Tate is not hiding exactly who Andrew Tate is and always has been. And clearly he communicated exactly what it was and whatever it was that he does in Romania to my assistant, giving her the option. Maybe she wants to join. For all I know, maybe in Romania, which may be perhaps the reason he moved to Romania, whatever he was doing, being a modern Hugh Hefner is legal. I'm taking a guess here, I don't know. But if you're a guy and you hold citizenship in America or in the United Kingdom and you decide to uproot to Romania, it's gotta be because you can do a little more dodgy stuff in Romania. It's the Eastern Quarter, this is how things work, right? Romania is like Ukraine, it's an incredibly corrupt country. The governments are entirely corrupt. Now, the risk that you run is that what you are doing in Ukraine might be legal if your goal is to be a Hugh Hefner. And I think that what he did, I believe that Andrew Tate was always upfront with all of these women in the same way that when you go to work for the Playboy Mansion, they're pretty upfront with the fact that you're gonna be walking around in a bikini wearing bunny ears when Hugh Hefner was alive. I believe he always communicated that and he was always upfront, right? But when you decide to do that in Romania, the risk that you run is that it's Romania.
Okay, so it's important that you know that Candace Owens' read of what happened under Hugh Hefner is as fact-free and inherently flawed as her read of what Andrew Tate was up to. And we'll get to the facts on that, but AB, what do you think about what she said?
I think that Candace Owens spins in more circles than Britney Spears on Instagram. Because everything you just said just went into a viral circle. Like the reality is that he can be upfront about being misogynistic and being an aggressor and honestly being a rapist, right? But if women don't consent to the behavior, then that is still rape. That is still a crime at the end of the day. In addition to that, she didn't really help his case much. You are saying that, yes, he told us that this is the type of person he is. When someone tells you who they are, you should probably believe them. And then if you have to leave one country to go and commit your crimes in another country because you think you'll be better off there, that's even worse. So at the end of the day, she didn't really help the argument. She just wanted something to say so that her base didn't feel like, she was ignoring the issue. So they had a puppet to throw out and seem like there was a diverse view on this, and there's no diverse view. Leave people alone. If we don't consent, if a person doesn't consent to the sexual activity, then you are violating them, and that is a crime in whatever country you're in.
Yeah. No, 100%. And again, like it isn't just all of the things that he's done that we can debate or whatever. It's individual acts of violent rape, which she is pretending not to be familiar with. And I love her defense. So she's so certain, I think he's innocent because people always make these claims to take men down. And then her defense of him is, well, I think that maybe he said the thing, but maybe when he goes to Romania because you can do more shady stuff and you can only get away with it because it's super corrupt there. And obviously you couldn't do this in a Western country. It's super corrupt, and maybe he did the thing. You don't seem as sure about what he actually did and whether it's Remember, because she's not just talking about just the law here. She's a woman with strong ethics and morals. She critiques the other side for their moral and ethical failings, and she's coming up blank on any issues with anything that he's alleged to have done. But let's be very clear about why. I think A.B, you launched into this, but she knows what her role is. And the difficult position that a lot of women, I think, are forced into if they want to be commentators on the right is you can have whatever opinions you want about a bunch of stuff. But when it comes to the men, you have to be an apologist for all of their worst action statements, impulses, all of that. If she were to critique him, honestly, that could very well be the end of her career. The right-wing men that watch her content would turn on her. They would consider her a traitor and all of that. And so I think she is choosing to opine on this to send a strong signal to the right-wing men that no, I totally have your back. In the same way that Andrew Tate thinks women should be brutalized and controlled and manipulated and all that, I am signaling to you that I agree with that. That's what the state of things should be. That's how I read it anyway.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.